The New Orleans Saints caught a massive, huge, gargantuan, I'm talking existentially large break in that Cleveland Browns matchup. And I'm going to tell you what that is here in just one moment. But before we do, I got to say thank you to Ooli for sponsoring today's video. And I also got to say thank you to Ooli for helping my dog be healthier, happier, and have a little bit better gut health, to be totally honest. So today's episode is brought to you by Ooli. It's clean, fresh nutrition for your dog. And right now, Ooli is offering a fantastic deal to let your pup taste test a personalized meal plan. Get 60% off your first box of meals when you use promo code CHATSPORTS at Ooli.com. With no harmful fillers and no preservatives, Ooli is made in U.S. kitchens with ingredients carefully sourced from trusted growers and producers around the world. Here's how it works. You fill out Ooli's 30-second quiz and they'll create a customized meal plan. Ooli then crunches the numbers and recommends the right recipes in daily portions for your good boy. For any first-time users, Ooli will send out your pup's first box with 2 weeks' worth of meals and a guide of how to gradually switch them over to their new diet. Customize your new plan. Ooli offers 3 meal plans to choose from, so you can choose between a full fresh plan, fresh topper plan, or a mixed plan with their fresh baked recipes. Now, sometimes my dog, dude, he does have some tummy issues, and it does lead to some unhealthy poops every once in a while. But hey, my good boy, he has been loving Ooli. We give it to him every single day. He's a big fan of the blueberry one. It is absolutely hilarious watching him eat. I'm not kidding you. The dog bowl, it's in the middle of the living room. By the time he's done, it's all the way down the hallway because he just has to lick the entire bowl clean. If I was a dog, I'd probably like Ooli food too. And I'll tell you what, as a human being, you open the package, it doesn't smell like rotten tuna. So, and just win across the board. You see it right here. Ooli is dude's favorite snack. And you can even see it right here. He's going crazy for that beef and sweet potato meal. So go get yourself some Ooli. Not necessarily yourself, but your good boy. And make sure that you tell Ooli that we sent you. Use code CHATSPORTS and you'll get 60% off your first box of meals when you subscribe today. Head to OLLIE.com and enter code CHATSPORTS to get 60% off your first box. They offer a clean bowl guarantee, dude does as well, on their first box. So if you're not completely satisfied, you can get your money back. But I'll tell you right now, you ain't going to be getting money back because your dog is going to love Ooli. And I'm here to tell you, Saints fans, that you're going to love this news. And it's not specifically this, but I wanted to set the scene right now. So Erik McCoy, if you remember, in the matchup against the Cleveland Browns, he went into the injury tent for a little bit, and then he was ruled questionable to return, and then he just never came back. It was a groin injury, and this was Erik McCoy's first game back from missing 7 straight ball games due to a groin injury, and that was suffered on the 3rd play in Week 3 against the Philadelphia Eagles. And, let's just talk about this big break because this is where the news becomes important. This is the updates. Darren Rizzi saying that Erik McCoy went through a bunch of tests and wanted to use caution with the situation. This is what he said after the game and the other day. Expectations are that Erik McCoy will be back at full strength after the bye, which I think is a huge break, considering this was his first week back from a groin injury and he suffered another minor groin injury. I got to say, the fact that he is not, it's not expected to be anything major, it's not supposed to sideline him for any extended time, it is really, really good news, especially considering the fact that the bye week is right now. You get a little extra time to get healthy, you get a little extra time to get guys back, and I just think in Erik McCoy's situation, it is really, really good news. But let's tell you what Darren Rizzi had to say. The head honcho himself, Erik McCoy, went through a bunch of tests last night / this morning. Again, this was the other day. We just really wanted to be cautious with that because he had all that missed time. 7 straight weeks. That's not a minuscule amount of time. I think in the long run, he's going to be okay. I think it's probably a good thing that we have a bye week this week, but I think Erik is going to be okay. And hey, I just got to say this. When I saw this update come in, I was massively relieved. I would be lying to you if I said I wasn't a little bit nervous on game day when I saw Erik McCoy was dealing with an injury. But I just thank God. Thank the football gods. Thank you, Jesus. The Erik McCoy injury is nothing to be too concerned about. We're obviously going to monitor the situation, but if you're with me and you're relieved that this isn't a huge injury, hit that thumbs up icon. Erik McCoy, shout out to you, my man. And why is this a really big deal? Well, even more big news, because, again, you're on the bye. So in NFL Week 13, you invite the Los Angeles Rams to the Superdome. And I'll tell you this about the Rams. They are not just like a team that is just going to roll over. They're not a team that has a bad pass rush. They actually ranked 9th across the league in sack percentage with just over 8% sacks. And in terms of across the league, they're about the top half of actual sack production. But this is a football team who's starting to find their stride. They're starting to kind of get a little bit of their swagger back. And Sean McVay, he is a smart coach, and he's going to have his team ready to play. And he's going to try and exploit the weaknesses across the Saints offensive line, which got to give a lot of credit to the Saints O-line right now. It's not seeming like there's a ton of just dire weaknesses. So got to give credit to the guys in the trenches. But, I mean, Darren Rizzi, me, you, we're not the only ones that are relieved that this is not a major injury. Here's what the quarterback, Derek Carr, had to say. He can fix problems on the fly. This is specifically about Erik McCoy. Things no one will ever see, no one will ever know, handling the unscouted looks and then winning his matchups. For a quarterback, it's nice when he's there because you know exactly what you're getting. And that is 100% true. Derek Carr, he hit the nail on the head with that one. In my personal opinion, especially those first couple of drives that the Saints had against the Browns, you could immediately feel his impact back on the offense. The running was better. He had more time to throw the football. And everything across the offense was much smoother and much better and much more efficient. And Erik McCoy, to this day, is still one of the best centers in the National Football League. He would be ranking among the top centers. He just doesn't have enough technically snaps to qualify to rank that high, but he has been stellar. 0 sacks allowed, 1 pressure allowed, 1 quarterback hit, and that's not just the first 2 weeks where he was lights out. He was also really good in Week 11. You see the grades at the bottom of your screen. But here's the thing. In Week 13, he is going to have quite the tough task. And it's not just Erik McCoy. It's the offensive line as a whole. And why? And I'm going to get back to how this is impactful by Erik McCoy in just a second. Just bear with me. Because when Byron Young, Kobe Turner, Brandon Fisk, Jared Verse, and the rest of the Los Angeles Rams pass rush is trying to get after Derek Carr, the guy in the middle, the anchor, the center is going to hold it down. And at the end of the day, you do have to get quality play from Trevor Penning and from Taliesin Fuaga. However, because Erik McCoy is healthy, you're going to be able to have a little bit better of a chance against the Kobe Turner and against the Braden Fisk because he is so much better than the guys on the roster behind him at pass blocking and at run blocking and just across the board. The Rams defensive line, their pass rush unit, it's a good squad. However, Erik McCoy can really do some damage and take these guys out of the game if he needs to. And so to round things out real quick, I just want to talk about what Darren Rizzi said and what his thoughts are coming into the bye week, because it is important for us to discuss not just what's happening in terms of injuries, but what are the coaches saying? What's the game plan? How are we going to manage this bye week right before the holidays, right before or in the middle of this hot streak that the Saints are on? So just hang tight with me for 1 second. But friendly reminder to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and you're still watching at this point. We must be doing something right. Whether you think I'm good looking or you think I'm just entertaining or you like my graphics package, you might as well hit that subscribe button for 100% free Saints coverage. We are on the road to 40,000 subscribers. We currently have just over 38,000, so help a brother out. Let's get a little bit closer to 40K today, and let's try and cross that milestone ASAP, baby. All right, let's talk about Darren Rizzi's thoughts going into the bye week. Because I think that this is extremely telling, and I think that this shows extreme awareness for what his team is accomplishing right now. When you have a late bye like this, it's a little bit of a complete different mentality than those early in the season byes. Number one, we've got to rest and relax and get our bodies back and come back refreshed. Number two, We have a little momentum going here over the last couple of weeks. I don't want to say it's a little. I'd say it's actually a lot of momentum. So I think it's important that we come back with that same mentality, that killer, can't lose, refuse to fail mentality. That is what the New Orleans Saints have been doing. And it's great awareness by Darren Rizzi. I almost said Dennis Allen. Wow, that's embarrassing. Phenomenal awareness by Darren Rizzi. Not just to understand, hey, this is an important time. We got some guys who are banged up. We have an opportunity to get some of these guys healthy and, quite honestly, just to relax a little bit. 7-game losing streak, that is mentally taxing. And then on top of that, you've played a plethora of football games. That's physically taxing. So I got to just say, phenomenal awareness for Darren Rizzi to say, look, it's important we get healthy, but it's also important that we don't lose that killer mentality, that we don't forget what the end goal is. And that mentality across the locker room has been shifted ever since Darren Rizzi took over. And when it comes to the New Orleans Saints practice for the Thanksgiving week, they're going to have a little bit of a different schedule. No practice on Thursday. They're going to move things around. You know, got to let the family celebrate on the holidays. But that doesn't mean Darren Rizzi ain't going to be doing his job. So if somebody wants to send him some stuffing or something or mashed potatoes to the Saints front office, let me know and I'll happily pitch in for you. But I want to just point out what Juwan Johnson said, because this kind of goes back to how has the mentality changed in the locker room. And for number 83, he's saying that it feels like for a little bit, or it felt like for a little bit, we kind of lost some belief, but we were still fighting. But I think the biggest thing was just in weeks prior, you just look at yourself in the mirror. Are you a man that's going to give up? Are you a man that's going to let somebody take your livelihood? Because this is something you've wanted to do your whole life. And that mentality, that idea, that mindset is what can make a good team great. It can make a bad team okay. It can take a team that has talent, that has bad leadership, and all of the things, all the makings for a potential run to make the playoffs. That's what the New Orleans Saints are in. You're not trying to go and win a Super Bowl right now. You're just trying to stack wins. You're trying to stack opportunities. You're trying to build momentum, build some confidence, and create a team unit. Not just a bunch of guys wearing the same uniform. A team. That is very, very different than just, hey, we're all wearing the same uniform. The same guy pays us. We all want to win the same game on Sundays. No, that's not a team. A team is a group of individuals led by an even stronger individual going for a similar goal and a similar purpose, working towards a similar outcome that is positive for everybody. That's what the New Orleans Saints are doing right now. That's the biggest mentality shift. And I just got to say, when you get Erik McCoy back, it is such a break. It is such good news. And I got to say, it is huge. So hit me up on social media if you want more coverage around the New Orleans Saints. I've also been doing a lot more NFL and coverage just in general for Chat Sports here. I run all of our channel's social media, or not our channels, our company's social media accounts. So if you want to see what we're doing, you want to see what I'm doing, you want to just see what the Chat Sports squad is doing, I post all of our stuff as well on my personal account. So hit your boy up on Twitter, on IG, on TikTok, and y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.